Hello everyone, good afternoon. I'm Atem Kuer. So I want just to talk about the conference that was done in Twic East, Panyagor, by the Twic East community members. So I surely welcome the conference. All the points that were narrated were all up to the standard of the people, and they are on track. So the past agenda that was raised was the insecurity, and for sure we are all displaced from our area. And if we want to tackle the insecurity for our people, it is our role as Twic East members and as Twic East native. The second point was the flooding, which has actually displaced our people. And the issue of flooding is actually big. So Twic East community cannot be able to curb that when we are just going toward the recommendation by our Twic East engineers that we have to construct the permanent dike in order to control flood. The last two are actually for our development, the welfare and the oil drilling. So I will just put a small comment on one which was not raised. So it will be beyond Twic East community, but I want my fellow South Sudanese also to understand the aspect of how we can get use of our number one natural resource, which is water. So we are blessed. That's why the River Nile is passing through our country, and we have one of the third largest swamp in the world, the Sud swamp, which is actually contain a large volume of fresh water. So water is the number one natural resource which we need to be proud of. So if we want to control the flooding downstream, so the first things that we need to do as a country, so we need to start from where the wall is, like what Dr. Grang used to say. So we need to start from where the wall is currently. What I mean is that we cannot go back again and do all the engineering projects that were being done 50 years ago. We have to start with what is in hand now, currently. So if I put on that, if I comment on that aspect of Dr. Garang, so the country is actually having zero energy. So like we have 1%, only 1% of the energy. That's what we contribute to Eastern Africa, or is what is being registered in the Eastern African Power Pool. So it is a great challenge for us to have such. Yet we have a potential of producing a hydropower. We have a blessed polar dam, which is actually one of the, it can be one of the biggest projects in Africa, next to the Renaissance Dam of Ethiopia. So if we put that project back to life, like what the Norwegian government did some years ago, so me personally, I welcome that call. And we cannot be only constructing the hydropower. We need to move on to where the world is. That's what we call sustainable hydropower. So I will just elaborate a little bit. What we call sustainable hydropower is that we look at the current situation of the hydropower, because the hydropower, if it is not well taken care of, it can pose a natural disaster. It can cause flooding to the surrounding area. But if we go to a sustainable manner, so we even go and look at the aquatic life within that dam. That's the fish and the other aquatic species within that area. So when we go to sustainable hydropower, we look at the aspect of the hydropower itself. We generate the power without any impact on the local community. And at the same time, we look at the environmental impact that the dam can cause. So, and we look at the aquatic life at the same time. So if we adopt the project of sustainable hydropower, so I think our country will be safe in terms of flooding, because this hydropower will just have big 2-3 reservoirs that are being controlled, and we are going to use the digitalized measurement of monitoring the riparians and the reservoirs. The volume of water there will be monitored effectively, and therefore downstream the level of water will be reduced. And if we construct the permanent dike, therefore we can be able to control the flood effectively without any endangering or danger that can be posed to our community. So that's the comment I've been saying, and actually it is good if we start doing that fuller dam. I urge my leaders who are in powers to put that into consideration. So I know it can be a hard task for someone like me to just plug in, but I recommend Polar Dam to be reconsidered by the government. So the second point that I will move in is that our government is actually being manipulated by Egypt government. And one thing that I need to tell you guys, so we don't have any direct link to Egypt whereby we can be actually, we accept whatever they tell us. Egypt currently, as I'm speaking with you, they are constructing their second city, and it will be the first city other than Cairo. And that city, that's why they would need a lot of water, and they don't want South Sudan to put any project along the Nile. So that is their own, it is not ours. For example, Uganda has already put over 40 dams. One is the current ongoing project of Fuller Dam, and Bojagal is also along the Nile. So I think there's no way we can be manipulated either by Uganda or by Egypt. So we need to put that into account, such that we can be able to generate our own power, and as energy, the engine of growth and economic. So there's no way we can be able to grow our economy when we don't have the energy. How are we going to attract even the investors? Which energy are we going to use? So the current Juba project of that hydrothermal power, it is actually polluting the environment. Currently, we have just experienced the heat wave. What caused that? It is the global warming in relation to climate change. So if we don't look clearly on the aspect of what is facing our country, there's no way we can move forward. So I urge my government, the government of South Sudan, to reconsider its old decisions. There's no way we can waste a lot of millions of dollars on transporting the power from Karuma. That's a lot of millions of dollars. But if there's a company, actually these European companies, they can construct our Polar Dam as the sustainable hydropower. We are going to harness the sun, which is the solar energy, and at the same time the wind energy, then the hydropower. Then we have already, our country will be regarded as the youngest nation that have invested its future in sustainable energy power. And that sustainable energy power has zero emission of carbon dioxide, which is our main global problem of climate change. So don't let yourself being manipulated by Ethiopia, and I mean by Egypt, and at the same time by Ugandan government. So there's no way they can let you go when you don't take a stand. So those were the few things I have to add on to what our great county, Twic East, went for the conference. It is actually welcome, and we were all proud of that conference. This is the second of its nature, and we hope there will be more conferences that will take place. I'm an engineer. I'm actually the energy expert. So on hydro, on renewable energy, so something related to hydropower, solar, geothermal. So I can actually give good recommendation on how government can work on this hydropower project of Nimule. And we actually need, if we talk of agriculture, because it was touched in that conference, so generally, if we have that dikes and folders being constructed within the great area of Twic East, so we can introduce this irrigation. So irrigation can be the best part of that soot swamp, because fresh water is already there. So it is only the mean of getting those fresh water from the soot, and we get use of it. So I think from there I can just stop.